we are delving into the psychology of luxury.
Somebody went to Sting's house once. Sting had created this whole Italian garden. I never opened the bedroom curtains. I didn't even see it. When you have too much stuff, too many homes, too many collections, they start to run you. Then it becomes a chore. A lot of my clients, I've got 8 different homes and 8 different housekeepers. And I'm always going and looking at the cameras of all my different homes and all my different wardrobes.
He has good taste. His Porsche, he decided having one ayah from Quran surrounding the interior of the car. It's such a beautiful finishing. I've never seen something like this in my whole life.
When you say luxury, many people think of private jets, yachts, luxury cars or watches. If we go a little bit deeper, it really means something more related to the family, to the health.
Real luxury is having time and feeling good about yourself. To wake up and think, I like myself and I'm a good person, because you can't really buy that.
Seriously, luxury was never a necessity, right? So if you are able to afford luxury, buy it at least for yourself. Don't try to impress anyone.
I received the SMS message that somebody wanted to meet me and I didn't know the number, so they flew us to Mexico with the private jet. It was a little bit dangerous because we realized that the members of the Cartel were buying the safe. My heart was beating. It was like from a movie.
Wow. Welcome back to Beyond the Surface, presented by Design Studio by Huzaifa. I'm Helen Farmer, your host to this journey through the luxury landscape where design and innovation converge. Today, we are delving into the psychology of luxury, exploring how luxury affects how our well-being is. It shapes our world. We're joined by 3 distinguished guests who bridge the worlds of luxury goods, automotive excellence, and mental health, offering unique insights into the allure of the high-end market. So around our table today, I'm delighted to welcome Karim Haddad, a leading luxury influencer known for his insightful approach to high-end automobiles and watches. His passion for cars and timepieces is matched by his expertise in showcasing them on social media, where he connects with a global audience of car enthusiasts and luxury consumers. Also joining us at the Al Huzaifa table is Oliver Straka, Executive Director of Döttling. They specialize in crafting some of the world's most secure and luxurious safes, with some being worth over $1 million. Oliver represents a legacy of German precision and exclusive craftsmanship, catering to a clientele that really values both aesthetic beauty and, of course, fortified security. And Marisa Peer is here. Our final guest is celebrity therapist. She's been voted the UK's #1 therapist and bringing a wealth of knowledge on how our environments influence our mental health and emphasising the psychological impact of living in luxury. So please welcome our guests for Beyond the Surface. I'm so thrilled to be spending some time with each of you and hearing a little bit about your unique insights. And we are talking luxury today, so I'd love to start by asking each of you what that word means. It's often used and maybe overused, but Karim, what does luxury mean to you?
Now at the moment, luxury means for me more free time, peace of mind, quality time with family. It's all about the simple things actually in life. And yeah, again, having the freedom to feel like traveling whenever you want, to not worry about bills. This is actually luxury.
Financial
now, before
freedom.
I start talking about material things, and I don't know, this is now the luxury in my opinion.
Marisa, you work with a lot of high-end clients who are working on their self-esteem and their well-being. And for some, very ultra high net worth individuals, what does luxury mean to you, and what do you see in your clients who might be having challenges?
To me, luxury is, I love having really lovely sheets, things that smell and feel nice. So I might like a really nice silk shirt rather than a polyester one. I love really lovely shower gel that has a great fragrance, isn't overpowering. I like really nice coffee in the morning. So it's not so much high-end in terms of cost, it's high-end in terms of quality. I think sheets, the stuff you smell, the stuff you wear on your body is very, very important. For my clients, it usually means it's saying I've made it, here I am. Especially ones who've come from nothing. Self-made people love to say, gosh, I've got a Jaguar, I'm wearing Prada, I've got a suede sofa, I've got a country house and a city house, because what they're saying is that I've made it. And it's kind of aspirational. Then other people look and think, wow, you've made it. I want to be like you too. So I think luxury means much more to people who were born without it than those who've always had it, because it's a statement. Here I am, I have this car, this house, this watch, this coat, this bag, this
home in some ways.
Jewelry, yeah,
These markers of success.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's recently I was looking at a boat you could stay on. It was called the Hermes boat. It was really every single thing was Hermes. It was so over the top. The sheets, the blankets, the cushions. I thought, gosh, I couldn't stay there. That's a bit like a Hermes overload. But it's aspirational luxury, and it makes a statement. We're all about making a statement. We make different statements, but the statement is, I've made it.
And that statement can be to the outside world, but it can also be a statement to yourself in terms of that identity piece as well.
Yeah, and statements are very important. The statement is, I've worked hard and this is my reward. Or I've got great taste and this is what I like. We're making statements to ourselves and others all the time.
Oliver, you work in a space where really luxury has a high value attached to it as well. What does luxury mean to you? And have you been desensitized to wealth through some of these amazing experiences?
Yeah, so when you say luxury, many people think of the private jets, they think of yachts, they think of luxury cars or watches. But I think if we go a little bit deeper into the word, what it really means, could it be, as Karim already mentioned, something more related to the family, to the health.
Safety.
Safety as well. Safety is very important, especially here we can see beautiful safety in the country of Emirates. I think this country is one of the leading examples of how safety is portrayed amongst the people.
Which is why we're having so many millionaires moving to the UAE right now.
That's true.
I loved your point about time and quality time, because when you have reached certain milestones, markers, maybe that is money in the bank, to have financial freedom, to have choice, that to me is the ultimate in luxury. But I think our environments can be a really important way of feeling safe, of our home being a sanctuary, of high quality design or colors that soothe us. And I think it's really interesting to think about the power we have over that. We're going to delve a little bit more into our environments, but I want to hear a little bit, Karim, about how you started working in the luxury space. Can you give us the origin story?
I think it all started while I was still young, very young, like at the age maybe of 2, 3. My parents saw how much passion I have for cars. I was crazy even about cars. It's not only passion. Okay, so at the age of 4, I started buying car magazines. And
4, could you read?
No, I was buying the magazines actually for the pictures and for the numbers. I was good with numbers even by this age. So I was able to read, for example, 0 to 100, acceleration, top speed. And so that's what I was reading at that age. So I was buying even from each magazine 2 in order to read one again and again, and the second one will be new.
Like a souvenir.
Brand new. And when I finish from the first one, I will cut the pictures and I will hang it on the wall. Now that's how I grew up until the age of 18. You can imagine how many times even I changed the decoration of my room related to cars, pictures all over. And by the way, at the end of each magazine, it was always displayed like the watches over there. So that's how I was introduced, let's say, to the world of watches. At that time, only, let's say, Rolex, Patek, AP was at the end of the magazine. And by the age of 19, I left Lebanon and went to Germany to study. At that time, I stopped buying magazines because anyway, at that time, internet was more like, let's say in 2002, it was good. I was reading everything online. The passion kept as it is, And when I was studying, I was going to auctions, buying and selling to traders there.
Cars and watches?
Everything related to luxury. So, but the thing about Germany, luxury, what I was selling, I wasn't selling it to German people because German mentality doesn't have anything to do with luxury. It's more about practicality. I'm not saying they don't have money. They have, but they don't care about luxury.
Different priorities.
Yes. So my clients in Germany were everything but non-German. So I was thinking to myself, after a long time there, what am I doing in a country where I'm selling actually to expats only? Why don't I move to a country where even the local love to spend on luxury? So
where else but the UAE?
Dubai, okay.
I always find it interesting to speak to people at various stages of their career about what success looked like when they were younger and what success looks like now. And Marisa, a lot of people come to you at moments of crisis in their mental health. Maybe they are second-guessing themselves. Maybe there's been relationship problems. And I wondered, when you started out on your journey in helping people, And as I said earlier, you've worked with some amazing names. Your rapid transformational therapy is now world famous, and you've got thousands of practitioners who've been mentored and inspired by you. What did success look like to you when you were starting out, and how has that changed over the years?
It hasn't changed. Success to me is making a difference in someone else's life. If you can make a difference to someone else, in the Quran it says that if you change one person's life, it's the same as changing everyone's life. And if you save one person's life, it's the same as saving everyone's life. So I was always driven by making a difference. That was a big thing. My father was an innovator in making the difference in children's lives, and I very much followed him. So my success is the same, except I can make a bigger impact now. People don't fear dying. They fear dying having not done something, having not made an impact. And when you can say, wow, I did something amazing. I did something that counts. Because a lot of people who have luxury and have it all. I mean, look, for instance, at Kim Kardashian. She's now training to be a lawyer. Why is that? Not because she needs the money, but often you think, well, I've got all this stuff. But is that it? How many handbags and Hermes cushions and Dior candles can you have before you think, everything we want is because of how it makes, including luxury, everything we want is because of how it makes us feel. So when we have these luxury items, we feel good. Look, I've got this beautiful item, this coveted item, this one-off item that meant, like the watches, a Patek watch. How many people have that? Not that many. But then you do get so you think, well, I've got all this stuff, and it made me feel good. Why do I need more stuff and more stuff and more stuff? Because really what you really want is to feel you're doing something that matters. And that's why so many people who've got a lot of money start giving it away, start creating foundations. People with immense wealth think, I'm going to downsize now. I have a client who's immensely wealthy and had so much money. He thought, well, what should I do with all this money? He actually started to rewild swathes of the country. And he wasn't spiritual, but he's become very spiritual because he created havens for bees and butterflies and extinct plants. And it gave him such joy. And many of my clients say, I feel a bit nervous being wealthy because I'm not spiritual. I go, don't worry. Become wealthy, then become spiritual. You can do it the other way around.
Think about your legacy.
Yeah, think about your legacy. What are you leaving behind? We know so many people who are creating schools in Africa or scholarships for children, and that's a wonderful thing. So I think the real luxury is having time and feeling good about yourself. I mean, that's the biggest luxury, to wake up and think, I like myself and I'm a good person, because you can't really buy that.
You really can't. I think this idea of purpose and authenticity and living by your values, it really does make a huge difference. And also working for a company that you feel aligned with, or working for yourself and feeling like you've got, I know in the past when I've had jobs that I didn't enjoy, it was because I wasn't aligned with the company. I didn't believe in their vision. I felt like, it wasn't something I was proud to be doing, if that makes sense. And so much of that's to do with your own personal reputation, but also the reputation of the company you work for. Because really all you have is your name. All you have is your reputation.
And in a company, if you can make people, they contribute and make a difference, they'll probably never leave. That's we have at least 100 employees, but they all know that they make a difference. They contribute to something amazing. Because that's very important, to wake up and think, not I've got all this stuff. And I remember somebody went to Sting's house once, and Sting had created this whole Italian garden for him. And when he said, what did you do? So I never opened the bedroom curtains. I didn't even see it. Or people who say, I've got all this stuff, but I got to the stage of thinking, when you have too much stuff, too many homes, too many collections, they start to run you. And then it becomes a chore. A lot of my clients say, I've got 8 different homes and 8 different housekeepers. And I'm always going on and looking at the cameras of all my different homes and all my different wardrobes. And one of my clients took me, she had an apartment just for her dresses, and you could press the button and they'd rotate on her. And she was very proud of it. I'm so sick of that now. It's just the work involved in having that apartment and the security and all the dresses.
It's not
and I just
sad
gave it all away.
You just become so desensitized to it.
Yeah.
But Oliver, talking there about our own personal legacy and reputation, Döttling's been going now for more than 100 years, I believe. Tell us a little bit about the company and its mission.
It's true, actually, it's 105 years.
Wow.
The company was established in 1919, so it's the 4th generation. It's still family business. We are keeping things quite low profile in terms of making big views in the marketing. We are more like a family business. We work with people from Monaco to New York to Miami, in Abu Dhabi. We also work with a few royal families, with celebrities, actually. Some of the biggest celebrities in the US have our safes installed in their houses. So we always focused on one thing, which is the product. Germany was always known by their highest quality of the craftsmanship, and this is something what we always wanted to share with the world. And we always wanted to produce the best products on the market. And people who have our products or who know about our brand, they say we are the Rolls Royce between the luxury safes, and we would like to keep the things this way. So
here's my question. If some of these safes are worth over $1 million, what are people putting in them that is worth more than $1 million?
Yeah. So our biggest market is a luxury watch business. So people who buy APs and Patek Philips and Vacheron Constantin and these types of watches. So the watch connoisseurs are the people that we are partnering with and we are selling our products to. A big part of our business is a jewelry business, so ultra luxury jewelry business as well. So we have clients in China. Right now, the Chinese market is skyrocketing. Cities like Hong Kong, Singapore, Shanghai, or Beijing are being on our radar right now, as well as obviously the Middle East market, Saudi Arabia and Emirates. So
with luxury, I think a lot of it is to do with problem solving, customization. Is that something that you're offering? So
exactly,
or more likely, if Karim came to you and said, I have 50 watches, is everything bespoke? How does it work?
Everything is bespoke. We have our collection. So we have the tabletop objects, which are in the level of the premium luxury market. We have our range of luxury safes and ultra luxury safes that can reach $500,000 in million, not dirhams, but the US dollars. So this is ultra luxury products. And but the majority of our business is bespoke. So we can customize in crocodile, in ostrich with 24 karat gold. Any type of material you can think of, we can do it.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit.
I think that brings us nicely to the power of our environments and how they make us feel, creatively, how they can make us feel safe, how they can make us feel well. Can I ask you, Marisa, a little bit about that, about the power of, we're in a very beautiful, calm space here. We've got a luxury piece of furniture in front of us that weighs, I think, about 800 kilos and took about 10 men to bring it in. If you are looking to doctor, to create a space for your well-being, what do you feel like the gold standard is? And what questions should you be asking yourself in order to feel safe and productive?
Well, first of all, when you're in nature, what is it that makes you calm? Is it the sound of water? Is it the colours? Like, we love the colour of the azure sea, and we love the colour of the sand. And then you can take that into your home and say, I've got a water feature. Everything is like taupe or pale blue. So colours are very important because, like, for instance, if you had a red living room, you would never have a red baby's nursery. It's a very aggressive, it's also a very sexy colour. So we never use red in babies' nurseries. We use pastels because they're very calming. So there's a psychology of colour and what it means. And I think it's very important to have a house of calm. But then you can have the other extreme where your house is so perfect, your kids can never make a mess, so they don't feel comfortable there. So it's very personal. What is luxury to you? Is it beautiful fabrics? Is it beautiful candles? Is it lovely smells? Is it having all these amazing, 4 different ovens and see-through glass fridges and the latest fashion? Because many people, it is, when I was doing it at my daughter's apartment, I went online and there was a footballer's wife, and she said, I changed my kitchen every year. And so she said, I'd get rid of all the appliances, and she gave them all to me because she said, I've got a red kitchen, I've got a yellow one, and every year I just do it again.
Sounds like a good person to know at a certain time of the year.
Yeah, so that's quite an interesting, but then it's very disposable, isn't it? Then you have to think, well, what's that doing to the planet? Every year you get a brand new fridge, and hopefully you give that to someone else. So style is very personal. What makes your home is very personal, but it must be welcoming and calm, but also functional. No point in having a home. I have a friend who has white leather sofas and her kids aren't allowed to sit on them. So you think, well, what's the point?
It's not really living, is it?
You can't sit on the sofas. You can't get a mess. I remember my mother was like, don't touch that. Don't make a mess. My grandmother was very much, you could sink into her sofas and eat apples on them. So you have to balance it. It has to be functional, beautiful, but also you have to live in it. And many show homes, you think, but could you actually live in that?
And also, I think we've probably all been into homes where you walk in and go, I don't know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. There's
from looking at this space.
No photos,
no artwork, nothing personal.
Or someone else's artwork.
Exactly, someone else's
Kelly
taste.
Hoppin look where everything is beige with a beige. You think, oh, that's not even your style. I love looking at people's books, looking at their photos, looking at their things to get an idea of who they are, because that also your home should say, this is who I am. And so, but it often doesn't. So that's interesting.
It's interesting about colours, because I had it looking at your Instagram, Karim. Some of the interiors of the cars that you drive absolutely blew my mind. Can you give us a little bit of a flavor of some of the trends you're seeing when it comes to luxury automobiles right now? What is the epitome?
Oh, here we go. When it comes to taste, the sky is the limit. It doesn't mean that everything that I'm posting that I really like. Okay? Because sometimes if something is like here in the market for sale, and the showroom or the owner is offering me, for example, to do a collaboration to promote it, doesn't mean that I really like this car or watch, whatever it is. And I've seen a lot of crazy colors. Could be in a good way, in a bad way.
Well, think about how crowded that marketplace is. It's about capturing your eye, whether that is on the road or in the showroom or on Instagram. It's that point of difference a lot of the time.
Let's talk about new money people, and there is plenty of them all over the world now, especially that 4 or 5 years ago, no one was speaking about crypto, and now suddenly everyone is speaking about it. And a lot of kids even made millions, and some of them made billions. And these kids, they like to show off on social media, and suddenly there are even motivational speakers now. And so they want to show the success. How they will show it other than cars, watches, mansions. And the car has to be screaming, or the watch also should be screaming in order for them to attract the mindset of kids, other kids as well, to see, oh, look what I achieved in life. So these kids will be like also kind of motivated and will go and let's say subscribe into these courses, whatever, and in the hope to do also the same.
So a silver car with a cream interior isn't going to be catching your eye as a lime green with a turquoise leather inside.
Me personally, I like usually subtle colors. I don't like screaming colors. Okay, and because even for your eyes during driving the car, I agree. Maybe today you are in the mood to see the color red in front of you, but tomorrow maybe you don't have it. So what would you do? Do you change the car or change the interior?
I wonder if it makes you drive faster having a red interior.
Red cars do have more accidents than
Don't
any
say that.
other
I have
car.
one outside.
Yeah. they have more crashes than any other car.
Yeah.
So that must
true.
be true.
And interior, imagine, because when you sit in the car, you are seeing what the interior is, not outside, right? So imagine an interior which is like a little bit weird looking, just because at that day when you decided to buy the car, this color you liked it, and now after a couple of weeks you feel like, what did I do? Now, okay, these kids with a lot of money who spent, they can, it's fine, they can sell it, can get something else, or they can keep it. Yeah, they are collecting. And a lot of them, the only thing they are caring about is safety, because being in some places in the world now, without mentioning which countries, is not safe anymore over there. Here, at least, we know that everyone is safe. Seriously, the country is doing a great job when it comes to security and safety. That's why it's a great place for them to stay here, because they are not afraid to move around with such cars, parking them even outside, no one will touch them.
It's interesting. I was speaking to an entrepreneur recently, and he was talking about the difference of mindset in the Middle East he was talking about the UK actually. And he'd got into a taxi in Dubai. This is a guy called Daniel Priestley, who...
I know Daniel very well.
He's a wonderful guy. And he's actually someone who talks very openly about how he started with very little, and now he is, doing very, very well and invested in multiple businesses and helps others with their entrepreneurial journey, helps children as well be entrepreneurs, which I think is fascinating. So
he lost something in the taxi?
He didn't lose something in the taxi. The taxi driver pointed out a Ferrari outside his hotel, and he said, one day I'm going to have one of those. And he said, you absolutely could. And I think in some places in the world, to see a Ferrari, it wouldn't be something to aspire to. It might be something you look at the person that's driving it, and it's a zero-sum game. He or she is driving a Ferrari, which is taking away my chance to drive a Ferrari, and you might want to put a key to it rather than that be something to inspire.
It is happening, actually. When I was in Germany, it happened to me also a lot. That's why I'm not saying like Germany is bad, but let's say the area maybe where I was, it happened to be like, that's why here in Dubai never happened. Dubai or Abu Dhabi. I was at the beginning in Abu Dhabi. So here everything is fine. And by the way, also related to watches, it's very important. Cars, okay, parked outside, and some people, even in other countries, they will not touch them. But watches, you are hearing what is happening in Europe now. And a lot of big crimes happening, and some people are passing away because of it. Just wearing a Rolex for $10,000. Imagine if these people are wearing something more
you're wearing right now, sir.
I don't know.
But I think it's really interesting, actually, to think about this idea of investing in yourself, because this is something you're really passionate about, Marisa, in terms of the idea of I am enough. I'm enough to myself. I'm enough to other people. And where our limiting beliefs can come from you know, you speak often about how so many of our thoughts are formed, our identities, our intentions before we're even 7 years old. Can you explain a little bit why some people might be more ambitious, might feel like they're more entitled or able to strive and achieve and have some of these financial or material milestones, and others perhaps don't feel like it's going to be possible for them?
You know, human beings are wired to find connection and avoid rejection. And it's interesting, when people aren't connected at all, they'll connect with something else like a brand because it makes them feel they belong. And human beings are wired to belong. So we would like to belong to a tribe. A lot of people say, you know, I need to prove I've made it. I need to buy this thing as a milestone. So I'm going to buy myself something. Maybe it's a handbag, maybe it's a piece of jewelry, maybe it's a car, maybe it's a watch. Because it's symbolic that I've made, it's a ritual. And people love rituals, humans love rituals. And I think it's an absolutely good thing to, just as you have an 18th birthday, a 21st and a 16th birthday, and different anniversaries, it's a very good thing as you make it to reward yourself with something aspirational, because our brain likes hard work, reward, hard work, reward. And while you're making it, go, yeah, I'm going to get that apartment, I'm going to get that car, I'm going to get that sofa. And that motivation is very important for human beings. So it's okay to be motivated by what you're going to buy. And often see vision boards, and on the vision board there's always a house, a car, maybe a diamond ring, maybe I had maybe a vision board when I was writing my first book, and everything I had on a hot air balloon.
Yeah, maybe $1 million safe and some things to put in it.
And it all came true. Everything I put on that vision board, I got. And it was a good thing, because I'd look and think, yeah, I'm going to write that book and have that, and I'm going to write that book and do that. So I think it's okay, but you also have to draw a line. When you get all that stuff, you then realize it's very nice. But that's not, it's relationships with people that make you happy. So you might have a beautiful sofa, an amazing house, 5 cars, but then you do get to realize once you've acquired this stuff that it's great fun acquiring it, and great fun saying, yeah, I mean, when I bought my first Porsche, that was a wonderful thing.
But no one's come around to sit on my sofa because I've got no friends.
Nobody could eat in it. And after 5 years, it was just a car. It had Ribena cartons on the floor. My daughter would drop crumbs in it. It didn't matter anymore. But when you get all that stuff, it's on the way, it's great, because your potential expands as you move towards it. So it's a driver, but when you've got it, you do realize it's not really that important.
I think there are a few ways of looking at it, because sometimes it's about the meaning you attach to it. So to use your book example, when I wrote my first book, I wanted to buy a piece of art with the first check that I got from it. And that was something that I could put on my wall, and that would be a reminder that
you did
I did that.
Yeah, of course.
And that was a meaningful purchase to me. I bought myself a car when I turned 40, you know, and that was something that I loved. What car did I buy? Do you want to be really bored by my car choice? I bought a Volkswagen Terramont.
It's a nice car.
It's a great car. I love it.
Beautiful, practical.
And it does make...
And big screen.
Big screen. It's got room for my in-laws and my kids' friends.
So practical.
And I get it and I love it. I feel safe. I've got good road presence. It's red. Didn't have much choice in that. But that was a meaningful purchase to me.
Black interior.
No,
or
like
beige.
cream interior.
Oh,
yeah. I'm very happy with it. But that was a meaningful purchase. But where I think sometimes, and I know I catch myself doing this, is scrolling on Instagram and going, oh, I like that dress, I'm going to buy that dress. Or, oh, I like those shoes. I don't need another pair of gold shoes. I don't need another floral dress. But I think you need to catch yourself in the why. Am I buying this because it's something that I need? Is it something that is meaningful?
Or to impress.
Or am I buying it for someone else? Exactly.
Or
that,
how will
Karim.
you feel when you buy it? Because again, everything you buy is because of the feeling. Then you have to think, you know, I've got 100 handbags. Do I really need another one? I've got 20 watches. What will having 21 do to me? But everything you want is because of how it makes you feel. And if it makes you feel good and you can afford it, then you should absolutely buy it. And then, but I'm agree, when you buy something, give something away. Otherwise, you end up having so much stuff. So when you take something in, give something away, because then you get rid of the guilt. I've just bought another dress, but my housekeeper, my neighbour,
one in, one
someone
out.
else who got yeah. So I think acquiring is all very nice, but you need to balance it with giving. Because when you have a lot of stuff, there's a lot of guilt, a lot of inherited guilt. I have a lot of billionaire clients, and if they inherited wealth from their parents, they tend to get rid of it all because there's so much guilt and shame. So you have to start doing good things with your wealth. And unless you do something good with it, there's no point. And some people out there do good stuff, some obviously and some very anonymously. But if you have a lot, you're supposed to do something good with it. Otherwise, you just end up feeling so guilty that you're buying more to get rid of the guilt of what you've got. And it's just a circular thing that doesn't end. But the minute you do something good with it, it feels so much better.
I want to come back to this idea of collecting and legacy, because this is a big thing for a lot of your clients, Oliver, is this idea of, this is who I am, I'm a watch enthusiast, I have an interest in this. Is there an element of pride, you think, with your clients when they come to you, and are they keen to talk about some of their collections and how this plays into what they're presenting to the world?
Definitely. And sometimes it's not about the watches or the jewelry. Actually, I have a good story. It's a true story, and I think I never shared it anywhere. So I was in New York this spring at the ICFF exhibition, and suddenly I received the SMS message that somebody wanted to meet me, and I didn't know the number. So actually, long story short, they flew us to Mexico with the private jet, and it was a good session. It was a little bit dangerous because we realized that the members of the cartel were buying a safe from us. Actually, I can't say which cartel was it, but it was one of the most. My heart was beating like this, but it was like from a movie.
Which cartel was it?
I can't say. I would be afraid of my life if I say it. But yeah, so this is one of the interesting stories we got. Yeah. So we work with plenty of interesting people, but this one was really interested. We obviously we couldn't meet the high people from the cartel. We had to ship the product from the San Diego to Tijuana, and then they ship it ourselves to their place. But it was a good story, at least.
So I'm watching on TV at the moment, Day of the Jackal with Eddie Redmayne in it, and he's got this kind of secret room where he keeps all of his passports and his weapons and his prosthetics, and it's amazing. So yeah, you saying that because it is in the house in the series is in Spain. You must see some incredible homes.
That's true. Yeah, some of them are either truly big, like for example, we delivered to Palm Jumeirah. We have a lot of clients, and not a lot of clients, but some of the very quality clients we have in Palm Jumeirah. A lot of clients that have big houses are in China, like I mentioned before, the Chinese market. The Chinese billionaires, they are something else. They just don't care. If they like it, they buy it instantly. So we love to work with Chinese people.
Karim, tell us a little bit about, your interest in watches. You said it came really as kind of an intersection with the car magazines. What trends are you noticing now when it comes to what brands are looking to showcase, but also what people are buying and how those relate?
I'm not trying to do here any advertisement, by the way. I'm just speaking facts. There is over 2,000 Swiss brands, believe it or not, okay? Watch brands, I mean. And the known brands are, maybe if you start counting, maybe you know 10 of them.
Okay, don't test me.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you. No worries.
Swatch would be the only one that comes to mind.
Perfect. Yeah, here we go. By the way, Swatch is a big company having a lot of companies under it. Yeah, you know this. Yeah. So Omega, I think, is one of them under Swatch. So now the 4 brands which are like kind of keeping value, because a lot of people now are buying watches not only for the sake of like they like it. They just heard that it's an investment. I'm against something like this. If you like something and you can afford it, buy it. Don't try to impress other people, and don't think about investment or whatever. No.
Same as art. I always feel like if you're going to buy a piece of art for investment, it has to be something that you want to have on the wall.
No, I agree. If you have enough money in the bank and you are ready to get rid of 1% of this money and spend it on luxury items, 1%, imagine, and still nothing will happen to you, then okay, fine.
That's how I feel about crypto.
Spending a couple of $100,000 on watches, in this case, it's fine. So 4 brands are known in the market as keeping value: Rolex, AP, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, and Richard Mille. Sure, there's some other brands as well. Some of their watches are keeping value, but also all these 4 brands, not all their watches are keeping value. Let's say 60% of the watches are keeping value, and some of them even are increasing in value. Now, if you ask here, let's say in the region, everyone is like into Rolex. Rolex they are producing over 1.2 million watches per year, together with Tudor, because it's one company. So 1.2 million watches doesn't make it unique, right? But guess what? There is 8 billion people in the world. And there is now, at the moment, over 65 million persons who are considered millionaires, okay? And over 3,000 billionaires. So now if we just focus on these people, however you produce, you cannot offer to them one watch per year. It means even if Rolex will do 10 million watches, still you will go to the boutique and you will not find watch. You have to be on the wait list. And guess what? There is something called now wish list.
What's that?
So wait list could be like up to 7 years. Wish list is even longer. So you will be wishing to have one, but still you can have them in the secondary market. Now to protect themselves, Rolex, AP, Patek, and Richard Mille, the dealers will put you on a blacklist in case they saw that they delivered the watch for you and you sold it in the near, let's say, 2 years. They can do it, and they don't care if they will lose a client. They have millions, literally. So Patek Philippe is doing 50 to 60,000 watches per year. Audemars Piguet also 50 to 60,000, which is literally nothing compared to the people who can afford it. And by the way, everyone, not only millionaires can afford Rolex, a lot of people also can afford it. So you don't have to be a millionaire to. And Richard Mille is doing 5 to 6,000, I think, only, and are all sold out. Now in secondary market, a lot of watches are getting sold for 2 to 3 times more than the retail price. So
Pure
market
supply
price is
and
totally
demand.
different. And I don't agree with some people when they see, let's say, a watch in a market for, let's say, $1 million. They will be like, yeah, but it wasn't retail. Retail was like $200,000. No one cares. Now there is something called market price. If you buy it today for $1 million, tomorrow you will sell it for $1 million. This is market price. I'm saying literally tomorrow. Okay, not let's say after 2 years. No one can guarantee anything. Could be less, could be more. But there again, there is something called retail price and there's something called market price. Other brands, Vacheron Constantin, FP Jones, also they are doing great watches, but again, not all of their watches are holding value. And trend is more into these 4 watches. My favorite is none of these.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is Lange & Söhne. I don't know if you know it. It's a German brand. It's not even Swiss. In my opinion, it's a perfection when it comes to movement. And again, I swear I'm not doing any advertisement.
And
I
you
don't
have a
have
degree
anything
in
to do.
mechanical engineering, so you do know what you're talking about.
Lange & Söhne has a perfection when it comes to attention to details. And I think everyone into watch business can agree with this.
Interesting. A friend of mine used to work for Ulysses Nadan here, and it was a lot about the customization, about painting on the face of a watch, and that idea of no one else has it. How important is that, do you think, in terms of the psychology of luxury?
People who are buying such watches, I like them even more than the buyers of the 4 brands that I mentioned. The reason is these people, they buy these watches because they like it, not because they heard that it's an investment or it will keep value. So seriously, luxury was never a necessity, right? So if you are able to afford luxury, buy it at least for yourself. Don't try to impress anyone. And if you want to do customization, maybe you will want to put your name of your son, daughter, wife, whatever, and or your brand, your company. You draw some dragon. If you are, let's say, Chinese, something meaningful to you. It's a nice idea, and I think Ulysses Nadan is one of the companies who has over 3,000 patents. Yeah, is really great, but not super well known in the market. I respect it a lot. Now, buying it for myself is not my style. I have different style when it comes to it. So
What's the most expensive watch you've ever had on your wrist?
having it on my wrist is something, and buying it for myself is something else. Having it on my wrist, $20 million.
I hope you had a
but
Döttling
here we
safe
go.
close by.
I'm not going to mention what brand, but it was more jewelry than watch.
You're so mysterious. Do you have a holy grail of watch that you would love to own? And why?
Not really. If believe it or not, I swear I don't feel attached to any material things at all. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything to me, but almost. Again, if we come back to the topic, peace of mind and quality time with the family, this is more important for me than anything, and health. And not worrying about anything. This is very important.
Because you're right, because it's not the stuff, it's the acquiring of the stuff. Most people get stuff, then they put it in a safe, and they never wear it. So a lot of people will acquire diamonds or amazing watches, but the acquiring is motivating. I'm going to get that. But when you've got it, you think, oh, I've got it. It loses its meaning very quickly. And people say, I never take it out of the safe. It's just in there and I've got it. But I don't know. Or people who have art, they give it to museums. They don't even keep it in their own house.
The sickness of possession.
It's acquiring stuff. But once you've acquired the stuff, the motivation is gone. And so now you've got to acquire more stuff because it's the driver, it's getting it.
Marisa,
Or
how does this concept of I am enough tie then to the pursuit of luxury?
So if you think you're not enough, you're going to need more. So when you think you're not enough, you need more. Might be more alcohol, it might be more food, but it often is more goods. So I get a lot of people who buy more and more and more stuff at the high end, but the low people say I go to car boot sales and just come back with carrier bags of stuff. Because I've got a lot of stuff. I go, look, I've got all of this. I must be enough. When you know you're enough, actually you don't need more. You think one bag is fine, one house is fine. You know, talking about amazing houses, I went to a client's house and they had their own car wash in the house. They had a gift wrapping room, a room just to wrap gifts with cupboards full of wrapping. And I spoke to their daughter and I said, do you like it? And she said, no, I can't find my mummy. Because it was so, she had a panic room in her bedroom, which is a really bad idea because they had to say to her, you know, if anything happens, you go in this room and you shut the door. And you imagine living a life like that. You've got a car wash, a gift wrap room, and each child's got a panic room attached to their bedroom. So you can actually have the destruction of too much wealth. That's not great for children to live like that, to live in that fear of, you know, I was working with somebody recently and he'd asked one of his friends, the friend came to the house and said, what? And they had a policeman there. And then he went home and asked his mum, and he said, my mummy said, you've got a policeman because someone's going to kidnap your mummy because the mother's very famous. And now the son's having lots of issues because he's worked out why a policeman is always in their grounds because of their high risk of being kidnapped. So, you know, we have to look at the other side of this wealth. What does that do to children? And secondly, when you have tremendous wealth, you don't have hungry kids. They're not hungry to succeed. Many people have a business given to their kids. The kids ruin it. That happens over and over again. The parents build it up. The children inherit it. Because inherited wealth can make you very lonely. You have imposter syndrome. You have guilt, you have shame, you have trust, huge trust issues. So again, you know, we look at wealth as the final thing, but it can cause as many problems. A lot of wealthy people I went to Elizabeth Taylor's house once, and that was so lonely. I mean, living surrounded by security with all these gates and going through 2 levels just to get to the house, and nobody drops in to see you for a cup of tea, nobody pops by. No one says, hey, do you want to come to my house? They think, oh, no, but Judy Garland said that I never get invited to anyone's house because they think I've got such an amazing life. When I'm on a film set and it ends, I go home on my own. So wealth can make you very, very lonely and competitive. You know, the only thing that wealthy people a lot is art because no one else can. We can all have a bigger, better house, a bigger, better car, maybe a bigger, better watch. So really art is the only thing that very wealthy people can buy. And they don't buy it because they like it. They buy it because someone else can't have it. And one of my clients is saying she has to go and hang out. They don't even know where it should go. They don't really even like it. But we mustn't see wealth as the be-all and end-all because it can have, there's a lot of negative effects of being super wealthy. Probably the biggest is probably loneliness.
I want to come back to this idea of building self-esteem, and I think that can start in childhood and it should start in childhood. But for people listening today who are really resonating with what you're saying here and maybe thinking, I don't feel like I am enough, what are some really actionable things that we can do, Marisa, to address that in our lives?
Well, the first thing is, remember, no babies will go, I'm not enough. I've got 3 sets of knees here and a fat stomach and a wrinkly bottom and milk spots and no teeth. Babies know they're enough. The minute they're born, it's in the womb. It's like being in the 4 seasons. It's always 75 degrees. You have 24-hour room service. Someone's always there. So a baby is born with a belief, I'm enough. I can wake you up at 2 a.m. I can spit out this broccoli. I'm enough. So we have to ask ourselves the question, where does it go? And one of the things that makes it go is comparisons and being compared, being streamed at school, being told your sister, brother, niece could do this and you couldn't. So we have it, and then it gets diminished. And so we have to bring it back and say, well, I am enough. But it's the comparing, you know, going on sites, starting to grade you. Somebody saying, oh, I have that and you don't. It's the comparing that chips away at your enoughness. So you have to go back and say, I'm enough. The most important word you'll hear come from you. Because when you think you're not enough, you'll always need more and more and more. When you know you're enough, you can have nice stuff. But you know that that's not what makes you happy. It's the icing on the cake and it's all lovely. But if stuff made you happy, everybody with stuff would be blissfully happy. And when I go to Zimbabwe, I see people with nothing and they seem to be very happy. And I have people in most homes who've got everything, they're very unhappy. So it's not stuff that makes you happy. Acquiring of stuff makes you driven, and that can be a good thing. But it's your relationship with others and your relationship with yourself. Waking up going, I like myself. I'm a good person, I have something to offer the world. These things are priceless. I like myself, I'm a good person, I'm here for a reason, I've got something to offer. That is what you want to aspire to, waking up, knowing that you matter. You know, we're putting our system into schools. We have children every day say just 4 things. I'm enough, I matter, I'm smart, and I'm significant. And saying that has such a profound change on the children who are the bullies and the children who are being bullied. It makes children academically do better. Because self-esteem, after all, means what I think of me. I could say I hold you in the highest esteem, but self-esteem is what I think of myself. And that's what you want to aspire to, liking you. If you don't like yourself, no matter what you have, doesn't matter. You know, we know Christina Onassis bought her child, she bought a whole flock of sheep and a shepherd. I mean, I know someone who bought 101 Dalmatians for their kids. I mean, how crazy is that, buying 101 Dalmatians because your kid likes the movie? And then probably that soon becomes 501. So, you know, that's the craziness of wealth, the isolation of that extreme wealth. You know,
losing
my
touch
daughter,
with reality completely.
My daughter went to a party with kids who had bodyguards, and all they wanted to do was go on EasyJet. They went on a private jet, and these 2 little girls said, what do you want? I want to go on EasyJet. I want to go on a jet with other people. That was their idea of heaven, and to go on a bus. So they just wanted what we normal people have. I want to go on a bus. I want to go on a plane with passengers. That sounds so. I want to go to McDonald's. So we have to remember that actually being normal makes us happy, because being normal makes me connect. I like you because you're like me. I like you because we have something in common. But when you're super, super wealthy, you don't have anything in common with anybody, and it can be really, really lonely. So so many people give it all up or get rid of it.
Have you met some people along your journey, Karim, that's sounding like this?
I was trying to avoid them, actually, because when it comes to something like this, I prefer to keep it only when it about business. I don't get with such people into more personal level, you know.
That competitiveness sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. And it's so unrewarding too. Because it's like, if in a race to have everything, here's the finish line. As you get towards it, it moves, and you can't ever win that race because you can't even complete it. So it's exhausting and very unrewarding too.
It is, but I would also say for some people, it's very rewarding that there are people who love the progress and they are not crumbled by the thoughts, because at the end of the day, I would say the mental health is obviously very important. It's one of the most important part of our lives. But also there are people who love to be rewarded again and again, and they understand it. They are challenged all the time and they just enjoy it. They see the life as a game of chess, for example, in a business. So I have a client, he's in California and he's very successful, and he told me he never wants to stop. He's more than 70 years old, and he doesn't want to stop because he enjoys so much the game that it's something that he tries for. So, but obviously I totally understand, and I agree with the statement that we can't forget who we are from the deeper parts of our lives. We are the same movement. We are the same, like, I love what the religions have in common, that at the end of the day, you can be poor, you can be rich, you can be ultra rich, but we are all the same person, and this is something beautiful that I
at the end it means nothing.
Well.
But in the meantime, it's been I think the social media piece is really important. This idea of constant comparisons. I want what he has, I want what she has. And I think it's interesting to think about envy and jealousy and how that can actually be quite motivating, and when it can be destructive. You know, this idea of, I see a beautiful marriage and I'd love to be in a relationship that, you know, is as happy as that. And that can be your parents' relationship, it could be a friend's relationship, it could be something you perceive to be perfect. Or what a beautiful home in the south of France, I would love to work hard enough to have that. But when it becomes this, coming back to the Ferrari idea of, I'm jealous of that person and I think poorly of them because they've done something that I can't do, that's the toxic side, I guess. You must see this on social quite a lot, Karim.
Yes, and that's why there is a point I would like to talk about. If you check the Instagram account, however you scroll, I think that I have now over 2,900 posts. I think over 95% of them, 98% of them, I'm wearing suits. The reason, in front of the camera, I want to be looking like a salesman, not as someone pretending to have this car that I'm trying to sell. Because if you enter any car showroom and you see a salesman in front of you, not wearing a suit, wearing a t-shirt, short flip-flop, you feel like, what kind of a showroom is this here? Or where is your manager? Or you cannot trust such person to buy a car from them, right?
Especially a high-end car.
Any car. You feel like this gentleman is not taking his job serious, is not taking me serious. So at least this is a minimum that you can expect when you enter a car showroom, bank, any like kind of
professional space.
Professional space. So I like to be in front of the camera, always wearing a suit. A lot of people will like, especially here in Dubai, like, is it not hot? Come touch the fabric. And to be honest with you, also, if you check the gentlemen driving Talabat motorcycles, they are all covered. Even the skin doesn't mean that they are feeling hot. No, it's better even for them. They are like covering the skin, protecting the skin in this case. So it can be too hot here, right? So if I'm feeling hot, imagine if I'm suffering and still you see me in front of you. Come on. And everywhere here is under AC.
So this is your message, is that transparency.
You will never see a picture of mine just sitting in front of the camera and having a picture of myself. I'm not pretending to be anyone here or Brad Pitt or whatever. I'm not a model. I'm just trying to show you the car in a nice way. And my face in front of the camera sometimes is just for credibility. Most of my posts even are without my face. So my face in front of the camera is maybe this car is super special, and I'm just trying to show you that this car is now available in Dubai now, in this showroom. If you'd like to go and have a look, and maybe you will buy it.
So you're not pretending that you own these cars. That's really important to you.
And by the way, even if I'm buying and selling cars or watches, whatever it is, the minute I think like I want to sell it, it means it's not mine. But having something is keeping it for yourself, right? So because I'm selling them, I don't want to look just like someone, hey, look at my car, and I want to feel bad. So again, the target for me are people who can really afford luxury, not people who are dreaming. I'm not looking for views or likes or I don't know what. I'm just looking to target the right audience who can afford such items. So that's why I don't care how many views or likes. I'm not a vlogger and I'm not influencer, whatever it is. Literally salesman in front of social media. That's it. And I know I have the right audience because I built up this clientele through all the years. I'm since over 20 years in the market, since Germany, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all of these in car business, watch business, and in general, luxury business.
Comes back to trust.
These clients are watching and they trust me because anyway, it took them long time to trust me. You cannot just see someone and then, yeah, I like this guy, I trust him. You know, I can trust him my life next. No. These people, they know that I will never offer something, let's say, much more over the value or something, let's say, with accident. Yeah, you know how cars are, or any scam thing. So people who can afford it, again, billionaires. Imagine someone with a couple of billions in the bank. So even if I will show him or her a car for $5 million, $5 million is nothing compared to what they have. So if they like it, they will just go and buy it.
I know you said you're not about the likes and views, but I have to ask you about the Halal Porsche, which has got millions and millions of views. For anyone that hasn't seen this video, Karim, tell us about the Halal Porsche.
Yeah, that's a friend of mine, Jules Sullivan, amazing guy. We are friends now since maybe a bit over 1 year, could be 2 years, I forgot. Yeah. And I've been to his home many times, and he is a revert to Islam. Okay, so he has. We are almost same age, by the way, and he had a totally different life related to many. I don't want to go into details about it. So he got many cars. It's also part of his passion because, to be honest with you, man, they like cars and watches. Most of them, 80-90%, they love cars and watches because what else we are gonna like a Birkin bag for? I'm not talking about this. They don't consider themselves as men, I think, right? So
a lot of men have handbags, little carry bag things right now.
Respect to them. No, I have, by the way, something, but not this size, not this shape of Birkin. I mean,
but that's interesting. So cars and watches are very much a male milestone.
Exactly, cars and watches. So since he has good collection of cars, really good, he has good taste, and he likes the combination of dark green with gold. Now, I don't know if you like such combination. Me personally, if I heard about it, I would be like, what? But when I saw it in front of my eyes, beautiful. Seriously, he has good taste. Watches as well. So this is also his favorite color. Now, his Porsche, he decided, because we were talking about this since quite a good time, that he likes something special. Okay, and one of our friends offered the idea of having one ayah from Quran in it, surrounding the interior of the car.
Is it like
starting from
is it like
Bismillah
an
Rahman.
engraving?
It's stitched even. It's such a beautiful finishing. I've never seen something like this in my whole life. And I told them directly on spot, like really beautifully made. So when I saw it, even in the front dashboard, when you look at the car from outside, there is written Alhamdulillah, which is like, thanks God, yeah? And Habib also mentioned Alhamdulillah. So we made the first video based on this. And this video also went viral. But the video which went more viral, even though I had to close the comments after only 10 minutes, that was this Halal Porsche. We were just driving, and I came to the idea, like, let's do something. You know, if you are doing something for quite a long time, you can have some base for the ideas. And you know what can trigger people to let this kind of videos go viral. And usually I don't talk in front of the camera. Like in 2,900 posts, I think only 2 or 3 videos are where I'm talking a bit in front of the camera, not even much. One of them is for Bugatti building. So yeah, I just told him what to do, and he is amazing by really applying what I'm saying. So we did it quite good, and it was an 8-second video.
But I think this is actually a really nice note to end on, because this is a really good example of luxury with meaning. You know, it was something that's meaningful to him. It's reflective of his beliefs, and it's something that is unique. You know, if you're able to have craftsmanship in your life, if you're able to customize something that's going to solve a problem for you, then this is money well spent. If you feel safe, if you're able to afford something that is fun and desirable and authentic to you.
Here you see that this guy bought it really for himself. He's not planning, for example, to sell. Even if he will sell, for example, maybe another person will be happy to see.
I'm sure they'll find them
bought.
on your channel.
And believe it or not, we did the video and I posted it after 2 minutes inside the car. Like I just edited fast and was done.
What kills me about content creation, I can work for hours on a video and it nothing. And then you do something at 8 seconds and you're like, because it's authentic, it connects. Guys, I cannot thank you enough for your time today. It's been really, really interesting to I mean, we've covered it all, from Mexican cartels to self-esteem to what luxury really means to us. And I'm so, so grateful. I think it's been really fascinating to reframe this idea of luxury as we sit around this beautiful onyx table, the height of luxury in beautiful Dubai, but really to come back to some things, you know, many really can't buy, and reflecting on our blessings. So thank you, Karim, Marisa.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you
so much. To our esteemed guests for sharing those profound insights on the intersection of luxury and psychology. I think today's discussion not only enlightens, but also inspires us to think differently about the luxury items that we cherish and, of course, the spaces we inhabit. So join us next time on Beyond the Surface as we continue to explore significant themes of design and lifestyle. Until then, embrace the luxury that enriches your life and uplifts your spirit. Goodbye, thank you, and take care.